Welcome, Paul, to the podcast.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about the state of commercial real estate. So I know you specialize in industrial. So how is the market right now in the industrial space in Montreal?
It's still an active market with tenants looking for space and some landlords trying to find tenants and some users trying to acquire industrial real estate. We're busy, but I have a feeling that things are slowing down in general. The volume of transaction is it mixed with the fact that we're entering summer, and typically the market is slower in the summer. I see a little bit more inventory coming on the market. I see landlords that are aggressive in trying to attract tenants. So I've seen rates that are reducing, dropping a little bit. So that's exciting for tenants that the hype of 2022 and 2023 is coming back to normal. I just got a quote this morning for 180,000 square feet, and I was impressed with the lease. Mind you, they're on a 10-year term. The lease are lower for the first couple of years, but then it increases as we go with bigger steps. So the average is probably 13, 14, but we're starting in the low teens and ending up in the 15, $16 net range. So that's what I see, but there's still room to maneuver in that, I'm pretty sure, with some TIs. But
Uh,
we're quite active and there's transactions going on.
what about the vacancy rate?
Vacancy rates, I find it stable. I find it stable. There's not that much inventory. The buildings are sitting on the market that have been sitting for a while, and the good spaces are moving quickly, or they're more in demand. But the velocity of the space moving is probably slowing down. I don't have the exact statistics on the vacancy rate. I'd have to check that, but depending which area you're looking at, but for sure between 4 or 5% to 8 9% in that range, probably lower to closer to 5%.
Okay. What's your thoughts on data centers?
Uh, I I had some deals with some data centers looking, nothing materialized. Here there was some kind of a restriction on the capacity of electricity. That's why it slowed those projects down, and I'm sure they're not welcome everywhere. Those are my thoughts that I see, but we haven't seen any new data centers myself coming in the markets I'm working with. So the ones that are there are the ones that were there. The new ones I haven't seen.
Good. So, what are some challenges you see right now in the industrial space on the island?
Challenges for tenants or buyers is to find the right product. Most of the product that is left as issues, it's obsolete. Ceilings are too low, shipping is too tight. So new companies with new requirements are not looking at those properties. They're looking to find better properties with the height and shipping and location. So it's a challenge on the island. And if you're looking to buy a decent building to sell, to buy, you're going to have a hard time finding it. And the challenge also is the landlords think the product is worth a lot of money and the tenants or buyers are not in the same wavelength. So it's difficult to make it happen between the vendor that's here and the buyer that's there. And the banks also are being more cautious about the lending. They require, environmental report. They want evaluation of the building for an appraiser in order to be in line with the lending of the project. And everything takes time. So deals are taking long time before materializing. There's some hesitation in the marketplace.
And so, what about the supply on the construction side?
The new buildings that we saw, they hit the market. I don't see new speculative construction right now. I don't see it. I think it's slowed down. I think that there's a lot of landlords that have space sitting, they just want to rent it. So having and the lack of land. So the fact that you don't have much land left creates a stop and a construction of new industrial properties. That's for sure. And the ones that are available are in areas where it's less demanding. Beauharnois, Valleyfield, Belay are it's not prime locations for now.
And where
Varennes and maybe Boisbriand, Blainville, but there's a shortage of industrial land.
okay. And where's the strong demand right now for industrial?
I think it's generalized wherever the client is, where the tenant is. I think North Shore is in demand. I think South Shore, we filled what we could. Uh, West Island, probably. East End, it's slowing down, but it's there. What's there is there. But I find that's what I find. I think the tenants that are in a certain area wants to some mostly stay in the same area due to employees and just the history of the company. It's rare that you see a company move out. Let's say Molson, they were on the island and they moved to Saint Hubert. So they did the new distribution and manufacturing in Saint Hubert, but they were looking for such a large site they couldn't find anything else. But usually they stay in the same areas. Mind you, IKEA went from Brassard to Beauharnois. It's a big ship, and then again, it's a automatized warehouse with 100 foot clear. So that's it.
Okay. And the how do you work with your clients? Because I know you do consulting. Correct me if I'm wrong. So how do you work with your client?
Well, it's full service brokerage. So if a client wants to dispose of this property for sale or he wants to rent it, we take a listing to market the property on a sale or lease basis. This is one aspect of our program. The other program that we like that we're getting in a very good expertise is tenant representation. So we signed a tenant representation agreement with the tenant, and we try to find a location that fits him. The deal that I was talking to you for 180,000 square feet, we have a representation agreement with the tenant, and he's got 5 locations. So we're trying to put the 5 locations into one. So he's on a lease basis with the various of lease expiry dates, and he wants to put everything under one roof. So this is the type of work we do. Create some. We got to be very problem solvers because we have to sublease some space. We have to cancel a lease where we are in the head office. And we already spoke to the landlord who wants to put the market for sale because he's getting a below market rent. And we think that he could sell or rent the building at a higher rate. And then we're off the hook to move on to our new location. So this is creativity to find to assist the tenant in the best production possible. We also do lease negotiations. I mean, I have a tenant who was heavily installed and it would cost them too much money to move out. His lease was coming up and the landlord was taking advantage of the situation. So we were able to put a certain competitive aspect of the deal, and we were able to negotiate the options to renew, the rates to renew at a more normal rate than what the landlord was asking. And based on that, we had to give in, and we're expanding in the building which we needed. So we call this, it's blend and extend. So we're opening up the lease, we're taking more space, and we're extending the term, and we're having a better rate for the whole portfolio prospective tenant. So this is mainly stuff we do. Sublease, we do sublease too, when they don't need the space anymore. The market for sublease has been okay, not always that hot, but it's been okay.
So how has the industrial space evolved over the years? Let's say post-pandemic.
Listen, what I found lately is that there has been more construction because there was more demand for industrial rates spiked higher buildings, better shipping, but the locations are not as desirable. So, and it's evolved as you have new players that came on the market with big box. Amazon closed down, so other sub trades took space. Suppliers took the space over. Uh, but I find that the market has evolved. That the warehouses are getting bigger, the needs for the tenants are getting bigger, and the big companies are getting more organized. So I see there's easy to negotiate with big companies with big square footage. That's easy to do. They have the budget to do it. It's the small to medium sized businesses that they're bringing an influx on rates and increase in rates. That's great pressure for their business in terms of money allocated for the rent compared to what they used to do before. So the market evolved that uh, you know people take advantage of what they can, and they're using what they can. Um, but they're more cautious about it as square footage costs more money. So they got to be more optimal in their space compared to before.
How much is the square footage right now at the moment?
How much the rates?
No, the square footage because
Well, we got tenants from 5,000 and up to 180,000 square feet. I was talking to you about. I mean, but there's bigger deals happening. But these are the deals we're busy right now with the tendency in the 10 to 20,000 square feet range right now that I see, and could be. I just did a 80,000 square feet deal in Saint Hyacinthe. My tenant was paying. He was in Longueuil. He was paying, $12 range, but we went at a cheaper rate in Saint Hyacinthe, facing Highway 20. So that worked. So we had to sign a 15-year lease. The big change, Richard, is the cost of TIs, and construction is so expensive that if you don't find a space that fits like a glove, you need to do TIs. You might lose your deal because the guarantees that the landlord's going to ask, the money he's got to put in the building, and the amortization over 15 years, because the money we had to build 10,000 square feet of office, it cost $1 million.
So do you think what's your thoughts on the geopolitical aspect? What's happening in the world? Is that
It's a cloud. Decision makers are hesitating. It's a cloud. We're all looking at this, but it's business as usual. Some trades are being, I guess, hit, but it just slows things down. But our typical clients, it's business as usual. They need a warehouse. They need to stock the goods. They need to distribute the goods, manufacture. I still see growth nevertheless in the people I'm working with.
okay? And how do you see the future in the next, let's say, 6 to 12 months?
Same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing on hold.
So from someone who wants to invest, what would be some rule of thumb that they have to pay attention to?
Well, we'll see what the interest rates, even though they're stable, we think they're going to increase. But the banks have already increased the rates, even if the taux directeur hasn't changed. And so that's going to have an impact for investors, what type of cap rates they're going to require. And I haven't seen that many investment deals, but there are always deals happening. But I don't know if everybody's real that busy. I'm not sure.
Mhm. And any trends you see in the future?
There are trends that have always been there. It's just going to be more applicable. Options to cancel, options to renew, registering the leases. Those are the steps that the tenants need to take, and there's prices will be probably stabilized. I think the increase has increased a lot. We were working with numbers. I mean, when the market hit $100 a foot for industrial, I was surprised. When it was 200, I was even more surprised. That came quickly, and then we're in the $250 range right now, maybe higher in some properties. So that's very expensive. But the land is worth $35 a foot. Used to be $3 a foot, even less. And the rates when I started was in the $4 range, and for years it was $4 range. And then with the COVID, it increased to 8, 9, 10, 12. And then we've seen 16, 18. It's back to more 13, 14 right now, even less. But this is the range that the trends I'm seeing.
What if someone wants to get into that space, into the industrial space, what would you say to them? Whether they want to start as an investor, as a broker, or they want to start a brokerage firm, what would you say to them?
Richard. Listen, when I started, I liked real estate because there was no 2 days that were the same. So you come in, you meet a client, you typically work with an executive, an owner, and it's their own needs. And there's not 2 days that are the same since I did my business. So I recommend, and I like as brokerage to become an owner to understand the business from A to Z. And since then, I've made my career in brokerage as a real estate broker, and it evolved as owning a commercial real estate firm, NAI, for instance, and grew the firm from there. So my practice led me to run my team at NAI and do the brokerage, which is just our day to day. And on the side, I was able to do some investment with some partners in some product in real estate that I've done. But I'm a better broker because I own properties, I understand the reality of the landlords and the owners of the property. And I understand the brokers, how they work. And my brokers, I mean, out of 25, I've got the top brokers are making a good living, and some of them they have to work harder and sharpen their saw to have better skills to execute themselves in their career and become prosperous in it. It's not an easy business. It's not for everybody. You have to have the special skills, the special personality. And I've realized that a lot of my good brokers, or the ones that are good out there, are all ADHD. So they have an attention deficit, and but they can process a lot of transaction and information in their head, which makes them very good brokers. And they're not that much analytical. They just find out and they not hesitate to send to the clients what's available. Also, I find there's more competition. There's more competition from a brokerage standpoint. There's more brokers. There's more firms. There are more investors who want to invest in real estate. So there's more in general. It's a more competitive business. So the best one will adapt, and the ones that I cannot adapt will have to do something else, or to just become instant.
So why do you think that you said some of them are prosperous and the other ones are not prosperous? So why do you think the other ones that are not prospering, what do you think is the
They don't have the skills. They don't invest in their career. They don't know what needs to be done to work day in, day out, and do the extra mile to serve the client. It's a service business, and if your client calls you, you send them the information. You get the information right. So it's I don't judge, but this is how it's going. That's all.
Hmm. And what do you see the biggest mistakes that people do?
Oh, mistakes of what? Landlords, brokers. I mean,
No, when they get into any type of field, like they choose, because people want to get in either like commercial, they want to do multifamily, they want to do industrial, so they're thinking about money. But what do you think people miss, like in the whole real
the
estate?
broke the brokers.
Yeah, the brokers.
I see a lot of mistakes that they don't work with exclusive brokerage contract or tenant rep agreements, and the guy is looking for something and they don't have an exclusive with him, and the guy is looking, but he's looking with 20 brokers, and it's just not efficient to spend time with somebody who doesn't have the discipline or loyalty to work with you as a appointed broker. So I wouldn't waste time if I don't have represent the client on a formal basis to start looking for space. And vice versa. If somebody has a building for sale and they don't have an exclusive listing agreement, I mean, I find that it's kind of a difficult to make things happen. The key, you want to have a brokerage contract when you sell or lease a property, and you do have a tenant representation agreement when you're working with a tenant. If you're not having that, better spend time to find those exclusives before spending time for somebody who doesn't give you an exclusive. That's how I would work.
Do you do investments also, or you just
Yes,
broker?
yes, yes. We're doing investment sales. We're doing multi-residential. We're doing industrial investment sales. And that market is slower, but it's also difficult, Richard, to find opportunities that make sense. That's what I was saying. The landlords, owners are too high, and the buyers are too cautious about it. But there's still deals happening. There's still deals. There's always the off situation.
Hmm. Last words in regards to everything we've talked about.
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
I said last words in regards to everything that we've talked about.
Last words. It's an interesting market. There's still hope. There's still deals happening. You need to find them. You got to be more creative. You have to be working harder. And the big change is AI. and which you need to use. And it's changing every week. It's changing. It's evolving. We've put some processes in place to adopt AI, work with AI. We're going through another big website change with incorporating the AI tools that we're going to find that is going to help us find more leads in order to assess with the transaction. And we're going to save a lot of time in our efforts. But I think that if the brokers are saving time in their efforts and doing their deals, I think there's going to have an impact on the commission rates because you're going to need less time, or you're going to have better tools to achieve you're going to be more productive. So I think there might be a change there happening. But AI is a big, big, big shift, and social media. So this the big thing that came lately, and it's not going to change. It's going to be improving faster, changing even faster.
Are you implementing AI a lot in your business?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In which in
It's in the operations, in the market, in the packages that we produce, in the pitches we use, and from the operations of the business to consolidate numbers with accounting. And we're saving 4 hours. The girl used to take 4 hours, going to take 10 minutes to do the same job.
Do you think people are sleeping a little bit on that? Like they see,
Yes, yes. It catches us by storm. People don't realize until they see it.
because they say, well, it's real estate, so we don't really need it.
No, well,
So,
I'm talking about the operations, how to run your operations and optimize the process with AI.
yeah.
And the younger brokers are more adapted to it, and they know the tools faster. So this really helps.
Okay. So people
Yeah,
you say they
yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Thanks, Paul, for your time.
Richard, it was a nice, nice, nice podcast. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical difficulty. Where can people learn more about you and your company, what you do, and where can they follow you?
NAI Terramont Commercial. So it's naiterramont.ca. And they can always get in touch with me, 514-993-2035. And we're at offices downtown. We're part of a larger platform called NAI Global with offices throughout the world. We're the Montreal, Quebec representative, and always willing to talk to investors, see what they're looking for, and also looking to hire brokers that know what they're doing and want to boost their careers. We're always welcome to chat with them to see if they can help us at NAI.